Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, now welcome back to Reframing Mindset podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know this episode is going to talk about, I guess, the next two episodes should if I do them in that order. Should be two lessons that I picked up on the way and on my journey to becoming, getting my degree. Or well, it- when I got it, it will be when I was trying to get my high school diploma. And this episode is gonna talk about the wall, and this is a good and is a I learned it and it was valuable then. It was valuable then because it reinforced it it wasn't something that I needed because of the family that I was raised in. Because, you know, regardless if I got that lesson or not, my family would keep me straight. But, that lesson, the way he put it, I know, kind of really understanding the city that I went to school in. I understand the lesson is really valuable more, because I saw because going through the city, I saw the lesson in in practice. I saw what he was talking about. He saw what I was talking about, and so basically what he was talking about the wall is that so in the city there is like you have this mall, and it can be in any city. You have this mall, and then what you see is a group of guys there every day. Every day you can, it's like a 9 to 5 day. You can religiously, if you go there religiously, you might see certain guys there. And they may be doing is with their phone, maybe smoking weed or drinking alcohol or something like that. But no matter what, you can always find somebody there, either smoking weed on the phone or 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 drinking alcohol. And the lesson was that now we were in grade seven and we were in the city. It said that you're gonna go through the school. You're gonna go through the school. And the decisions you make, you know, will either send you to the wall. It's like he's saying that you can either be the person on the wall, person that's going on the wall where every day, so like they're saying, okay, you made it to grade seven. So, cause this was basically our first class with this math teacher. So he's basically introducing himself and giving you like a motivation because back then, I was basically like, I think maybe 11, 12, and this guy is like we're in his 30s or something like that when he when he started to teach us. So like he had a lot of years of experience compared to us that is just basically 12 years on the earth. Most of us 12 years or 13 years on the earth. They basically telling us, see these guys that you sit beside us like that. One day, when we grow up, you may see one of these guys on the wall. Or well, he's not saying that we. He said that okay, one of you guys could be one of this. Where in that even even me as a person that was basically focusing in school and so that could end up on the wall. Could end up on the wall. Could be one of those persons that you see there smoking weed and stuff like that. I remember saying, oh yo, you remember you and I you used to went to high school together. I know you're here. So that basically what he was saying that this life. So it wasn't said the way that I'm saying it is not how he said. I'm saying more real that he was sugarcoating the situation, but the quote was raw. it was raw and he gave it raw, but going to give you more real just because I'm at the stage now where these lessons that I'm learning through school, you can either put them into practice or you can become a victim of the situation. You either become this the rare one that made it out, or you become the statistics. So basically, what essentially is that. So for you listening, is that you're in life now. You may not be where you want to be, or such like that. Or you're a young person going through school. I, more than likely, you're not the listener. Maybe either in university or maybe a other person, and you're saying, okay, you're n- you're basically listening to this episode and you're down. You're you're basically not where you want to be. You know, you could be that person on the wall. What essentially what he was saying that he don't want it to be that person on the wall. He don't want it to be that person that every day you go there and see you smoking weed, drinking alcohol, and then in your 40s you're basically one of the person that we have to support you in taxes. Taxes to basically help you keep you alive because you're basically suffering from kidney failure or whatnot. If you actually actively try to prevent yourself from reaching that stage, walking away from the wall, because they so let me give you the alternative that I've gone through. That is not the wall because I did reach a wall. I've passed the wall for many years in my life, and I'm glad to say I haven't reached it as yet. You know, so let me tell you the stages that I went through from learning about the wall. So I went from grade 7 to grade 8 to grade 9, grade 10, then to grade 11. I graduated my high school diploma. Then I went to sixth form at the same high school, and so I did grade 11 and grade 13. Then I graduated from sixth form. Then I went to the university and did 3 years at the university and graduated with my biochemistry degree. And I graduated, and I was pretty depressed. I was pretty depressed after a while because I couldn't really get a job. But I didn't make it to the wall. I had my grandmother, and my grandmother put in the work from early so that she had a roof over her head for her family and herself, so that when I graduated, I have a roof over my head. So she also didn't make it to the wall. She was on a race statistics that came from the bottom, from poverty, and right now retiring with a home. And due to her family that she created and raised them right and allowed them to be successful, those family are now supporting her so she can maintain her home. You know, so that is the positive. That's the alternative to the wall. If you took the wall now, like say you took the wall when I was in grade 7, or when I left high school, you instead of you reaching the university. So when you left, so most of us when I left the, grade 11 and I make it to grade 12, most of my person that I knew from the grade 11, they didn't go to grade 12. They either went to a college, a community college, or they started going to the world of work and such like that, or elsewhere. How can I say? So for example, you were one of the person that never made it to work or that place. So you end up reaching the wall. So that's from grade 12, 13, then you have 3 years at university, that's 5 years. And then when I left university, that would be 4 years. 4 years since I left university. So that's 9 years. That would be 9 years you're at the wall. And I would have went back to that same city and passed that same mall. And then I saw you and be like, oh yo, it was you that I know from high school. And that would mean that yo, you might be there for 9 years. I don't know if you make any money or not, but yo, for 9 years, you must have made some money maybe to get a home or something in 9 years, and so that's basically the raw going through. And so when I was getting that lesson, I was in school. I was a school kid, or on the road to pass tests. Now I'm older, and my role is to be a provider or contribute to the society. So the war lesson is I understand it now because I understand how easy it is, or how one bad slip. It's not, it doesn't even have to be you. It doesn't have to be your fault make you end up to the wall. It's just bad luck, because life doesn't give you a perfect hand. You have to play it all you can. And one bad play can just basically end up you at the wall, at the wall. So you have to. But the thing is, even if you end up at the wall, it's up to you to basically say, "Yo, I want to get off this wall. I want to get a car, a license, a job, and a home, so that I can rest at home, maybe watch some TV." You know, that's motivation. Get a home, watch TV. Go there, watch people and such like. Go watch TV. When you watch TV, even though it maybe not unproductive, you get to see things that you don't see on the road. See the fantasy. You see the fantasy. Oh, I would like that fantasy. Then you motivated to maybe go try to build that fantasy. you know, you're basically going on the road, meet the same people in the same city. You don't even leave the city, bro. You're basically in the same city, meeting the same girls. Most of them on the wall would there for some girls. So you're meeting the same girls. If they're not really meeting the same girls, because the cities they're gonna make more 99% would be the same girls. Then you have the few tourists and such like the new people that enter the city. So that's how it would be for you for 9 years. And if you instead if you just say, okay, let me just put for 9 years, let me just put $1 a day or $10 a day into something productive. If I'm at the wall every day, I must be making something. And then with something for a couple of years. In 9 years, you would have reached further than me. You'd have reached further than me. Like for example, when I went to university, there's a lot of my friends that had license and cars, because when I went to university, they actually went into the world of work. It's not really um a wrong move on them and stuff like that. It was just their decision. The roads that we took were different, and so my slow start, they had it before before I left university. So while they had their slow start and was trying to figure out their way, I was balling in university. Then I left university. They had finally got their start now. And then I'm on the down trying to figure out how to how to actually come out of my rut. And then now I'm finally somewhere now. Yeah, so that's basically how it goes. But you can end up at the wall. The wall is basically it's like the dead end. Yeah. All right. So the alternative would be wall would be a nice retirement. A nice retirement. You would go chilling, you accomplish your life goals and such like that, and you're chilling in your home, taking care of your kids, have your wife, and I have a bunch of girls if you're so pleased. And yeah, and then you just chilling and be like, yeah, I actually did my stuff. And then you be the role model to the next generation. Chilling, living life, being happy, traveling where you want to go. Not in the same city. You can travel to different countries and such like that. Not in the same city. You can travel to different countries. And you're happy, bro. You're happy until whenever. That's the alternative. Or you can be at the wall. You wake up every day, come and meet the same people on the same wall that you will sit at, and get and drink the same alcohol and smoke the same weed there every day, and be like, yeah, talking about the things that you could do. Talking about the ways you could get rich, because that's mostly what most of the guys there for. If they're there doing illegal activities, they're trying. do it to get richer. So every day we're talking about getting rich, and then they'll come back on the wall. They'll come back at the wall and be like, yeah, such like that. Or you can be the one change that but think about it. Thing about the wall is that once you reach the wall, it's like the mafia, bro. Like the mafia. If you try to get out, you might die, bro. You're not gonna get out easy. Like you're gonna. It's like it's like a pack. It's like if like it's like you join a. It's like when you join a gang. You can't just basically say, "Okay, I'm done with the gang, bro." You join the gang. There might be repercussion for leaving the gang. That's why I don't really tell you to join gangs and stuff like that. So to go to school. That's what this whole podcast was about. Telling about how I went through school and stuff like that. Podcast was my legal way of making a living and be a productive member of society. You know, giving knowledge for a couple cents. That's what I do. I give you knowledge for a couple cents. I can't have you doing illegal stuff. The wall influence you to do illegal stuff, and then I don't want it to become like a gang member. Basically, because the gang member, your influence you to do treacherous stuff. You start drinking alcohol, then weed, and all of a sudden you're influenced into robberies, then murders, and then such like that. And that's how it goes. That's what causes the crime rate. And all of that is not really basically your fault. It's just basically you play. That's it. We all aren't dealt the same hand, and the hand that we play, you have to play it. And that wrong play can basically turn your life down a strict, straight bad path. That one bad play can turn it to the wall, and that wall will basically mean the end of your life. Like, you can be one of those smart person that say, "Oh, yo, that guy was smart in high school and stuff like that." And now this guy is like, bro, that's how the wall is. That's that's what the wall is. That person can be like, yo, that person was one of the coolest and popular person, and then now you see him is like a drug addict and stuff like that. Nothing like that. They'll be like, oh, yo, that person was one of the prettiest person, and most handsome person. See him at the wall, high as drunk as hell. I'll be like, yo, that person was in high school one of the prettiest and most handsome person, because that's what the wall is. That's what the wall is. It's like a trap. Can turn your life into a great spiral. So that's basically what this episode is about. It's a motivation to say, yo, you can either be that person on the wall, or you can actively try to be that person that doesn't make it to the wall. It doesn't mean that I can't promise you that you won't make the wall. But at least if you know that the wall exists, when you're there, you know that, oh wow, I'm at the wall. So I have to really try to get out. So that's basically what this episode is about. To alert you to get you aware of what the wall is, so that at least hopefully when you're there, you can realize that, oh yes, I am at the wall. So I have to try and get out. Mhm. So that's basically it for this episode. Thanks for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
It's outside, and unfortunately, it's in the night. So you might hear the crickets, and I might hear the crickets. But we made it to the end of December. We made it to the end of December, and we made it to the end of 2022, and then a lot has been learned, a lot of progress been made, and I have to say I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for it. Yeah, and in this month feeling refreshed, and At the time of this recording, I'll be starting the real work. So if you have reached this far, you know that I've been employed by now, and reach a lot of stages in it. So, but by the time this episode is released, I'll be in the real work stages, not fully employed yet, but in the real work stages, trying to become a full employee. But out of